Well, folks, that was a brilliant, brilliant track called Falling from a brand new album from my second guest tonight, Russell Kitchen, to give him his Sunday name. How you doing, Russell?
I'm very good, thanks, mate. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're going to be called Russ from now on. I just thought...
Well, I'm fine with that. That's absolutely fine.
You've been called worse. But brilliant track, mate, from a brand new album. Tell us a little bit more about the album.
It is. It's been a long time coming. It's just a passion of myself. I love my country music, as you know, and I love so much of it. You know, reaching all the way back, right the way to modern. The more upbeat and modern stuff is the bit that really kind of drives me these days, to be honest. And it's just I've played the cover circuit, and I love doing that. I play with a band, and I love doing that. And but I've always had a passion to write. I don't write prolifically, a huge number of songs, but what I tend to try and do is the ones that I write, I tend to really focus in on them. And I just thought to myself, it's now or never, and I got an opportunity to record with a phenomenal producer who was incredibly patient, and I was just in the right place at the right time. He got a lot of faith in it, and the young lady on my left and the rest of my family, they had as well. And so it just came together over the past 8 to 9 months. A lot of patience and a lot of wheeling and dealing to make it all work.
Well, people on the radio, the little lady he's talking about is his daughter, who's multi-talented. Heather, how are you doing, Heather?
I'm grand, thank you very much.
And you can tell from the accent they're from Sheffield.
We're on the other side of the Pennines, aren't
we? Yorkshire.
Yorkshire. But yeah, I mean, you've got the support around you, which you've got a tight-knit family. And you said on your notes that obviously your good lady is, you've written a lot of this stuff because of her, because obviously people don't realise that the little lady, as inverted commas, in the background are the ones that are driving force and enable artists, male and female, to go forward.
Yeah, she absolutely is, and puts up with so much. I mean, you know as well as I do, Paul. You've done it for years yourself. It's not just a case of showing up at a gig and playing. There's hours and hours of rehearsal. There's maintenance. There's driving to and from it. Practice, acquiring stuff. We're not fortunate enough to do anything other than all our own marketing, all our own research, and all our own promotion and everything else. So it's a full-time job on top of a full-time job for me as well. Because being in a country band at the moment certainly isn't a full-time occupation. The scene's just not there for it. It's a lot of fun. I love doing it. It's got a great vibe to it. But Paula, she puts up with a lot. She's there at all the gigs. She's up first and to bed last, sort of thing. So
merch lady.
Yeah, she carries everything for us. She really, really does. And we'll be without her.
No, and it's brilliant because I said sometimes like country music in itself is storytelling at the end of the day. And what I love about the album, and it's not because you're my mate, it's not, because you have to give it, when somebody sends you an album, you have to look at it from a different angles. You go, right, okay, if it's not good, do I say anything? But it is bloody brilliant. And what I like about it is the first track sets the scene for me because it's smack bang, the melody line is very much the now. What's in the charts now?
Yeah,
very Matt Stell, all that Morgan Wallen kind of thing. And then in there, you've got a little bit of Vince Gill and a bit of Alan Jackson going on in that vibe, if you don't mind me saying. And obviously, you've got a couple of covers which you're dopping your hat to the Al Ketchums of this world as well. So it's got a mixture for everybody.
It has, and you're absolutely right. As I said, my tastes are eclectic. I do like to sort of to run across with it. The old. I mean, I was listening to Time Jumpers, and I was so, as a guitar, I was so like delving into where they were playing and the sound and the color of the chords that they were using. I thought, I've really, really got to get into that.
Yeah.
And then State of Mind is the track that it's that's like that, and I'd got the story, which again, every song that I write is a story, or live through a friend's story, sort of thing. That I tend not to make things up to fit a song. I tend to find the story and write the song to the story, if you know what I mean. So every one of them has got a truth running through it for me.
And it's out today as well, isn't it?
The album itself comes out later in May, but we're releasing the tracks as we go. But Falling is actually out today. As a single.
There you go. I judged that right then. I thought, don't. I've been known. I get so much stuff in my inboxes from all over the world, and I'm going, I've played that, and they go, "Oh no, take it off," and I have to redo it, because it's
Oh no, it's
an
absolutely right.
embargo on
That's
it. So you've gone all prima donna on me. You've got embargoes on the others, haven't you?
I don't know. I think, as I said, I think certainly the covers. I think I'll talk about that for a minute because it's a guilty. That's not a guilty secret, but for many years I've been a fan of Elton John.
There's no such thing as guilty pleasures in music.
No, there really isn't.
If it sounds good, it is good.
And
like
in my head, I'm Still Standing. I just thought to myself, if that ain't a country song waiting to happen, then what is?
He wrote about a period in his life that he said, "I'm still standing," isn't it? So there is country music, in the lyrics. Yeah.
And so I thought to myself, you know what, with a bit of a country swing beat, and and put some pedal steel right through the middle of that, and I was very fortunate to get Derek Thirlby's services.
I was going to say, I looked at the credits and went, "You've got Derek." Oh my God.
Yeah, and that would probably. I would say the second biggest coup on my album, to be honest.
It was the first one.
The first on fiddle through a friend of a friend. I got Eamon McLaughlin to play fiddle on it, which
wow.
As I say, he's the Opry, Grand Ole Opry Nashville house band player.
Wow.
So I mean that in itself is a story because through a friend of a friend, I said I'm looking for a fiddle player. It was Dan Martin actually. Looking for a fiddle player. I said, I've got one. Message this guy, he'll do it for you. So I went, yeah, okay, I'll message this guy. And I'm like, you sure he'll do it? Yeah, trust me, Russ, he's absolutely fine. He's good enough. I'm sure he is. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so I'm going to message him. Yeah, he's the house band player for the Opry. And I thought, I'm going to message him and I know what he's going to tell me to do straight away. But lo and behold, about 2.5, 3 hours later, a bit of time zone difference, and he came back and fabulous guy. And we sent it away and we thought it sort of a week and a half, 2 weeks later, all the tracks came back, and
sat
in the studio with Martin Smith, who was the producer, and we sort of like, let's unpack these and see what we've got. And we put these things through, and it was just a wow moment, goosebumps and hair on your arm standing up sort of thing. And we thought, right, okay. Right. And so all my original plans for the rest of the album in terms of time scale and what we're going to be done, they just went straight out the window. And we thought, right, okay, if that's the quality that he's going to put on there, then it's time to really raise the bar and go for it. So, that's what we did. And we waited to find the right people. We waited till we got everything in the right place to do it. And, and we were absolutely sure of what we were going to do before we sort of went ahead. So it took a bit of time because I was having to work in between times and go out gigging as well, of course. But, eventually it sort of found its way together, and I've had to really sit on my hands to not throw it all out there in one go and
when you weren't sitting on your hands, you had me and Martin and Mum physically restraining you, taking your phone off you and hiding it under boxes so that it's like, but I just want to send such and such a track. I don't think you do, Dad. I think it should be a secret, just a little bit longer.
You see, it's all new to me, Paul. Is this?
Yeah, I know. And again, I'm more power to you really, because people again like myself, you get labelled as a covers artist, a covers band, and covers this, and then when I don't know if you've done this as well, because I know you have it within your band, you'll play one or two that you've wrote yourself. You see, like they're like the Meerkats then when they're all sat down talking. When you go, oh, the head pops up. Oh, they've got one of the two of the others, because I just had a session of myself, just writing over the last year or so. And I thought, I'll never record them. I'll just play them now and again, and I'll just hold this in and see what the reaction is. And it's amazing when people go, oh, right. But you know yourself, if you're playing a covers night, you might get away with 3.
Yeah, that's it.
And then carefully selected 3.
Yeah, because you get a lot. I mean, I've had people who've gone to see Americans over here and they go, oh, I didn't know any of his songs. I say, well, no, the self-pen stuff, you won't,
Yeah.
But it's a different type of audience. I mean, the audience that you're now steering towards, which we've had a conversation privately about this, the singer-songwriter side, it's a totally different vibe. It's a totally different. I mean, it's like C2C when you're going around during the day and you're seeing people do. It's a totally different crowd. It's a listening crowd. You might get a few dancers in there, but it's a listening crowd who want to listen to the lyrics, to the melodies and all that kind of thing.
Absolutely, and it's such a vibe. It's such a great place to see music. As I say, you tend to. I'm just learning where these venues are. Because I've spent so long, as I say, on that cover circuit, and the C2C was such a vibe for me this year. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So many people that I'd not heard before, seen before, and all of it is, there's a wow factor to it. There really is.
I mean, they all brought their A game though.
Oh, they really did.
Yeah.
And you know, and you think to yourself, there is such a future in country music.
There is, and people don't realise that, do they? I mean, the amount. I mean, like I said, I'm interviewing people from Canada in a little while. And again, Canada's a wash of talent that you don't get to listen to. It's such amazing. But British and UK British artists can hold their own without a shadow of it. I mean, look at Kezia Gill. Although she didn't do it at the O2 Arena, but she did it at Glasgow where we were. She got into the Hydro and actually played on the stage in the Hydro, the satellite stage. So that is a pathway that's already been cut out. Because they played with the Shires, they said they are Shires. You can announce the next artist, you can, but they didn't give them the rights to actually go and play their own stuff, apart from probably once. Kezia's now done that. She's got in and played into it. And
she played a cracking set at the Indigo.
Yeah, well, that's it now. She's in the Indigo, where last year she was outside, wasn't she? She was outside the observatory and whatever. But
hopefully next year she'll be on Spotlight.
Yeah.
Well, she will be, because she was on the, like I said, she was on the Spotlight at the Hydro in Glasgow.
Right. Okay.
Because I thought
maybe she'll be the main stage jump, the one from going from Spotlight to main stage.
Yeah, and it wasn't too long ago. She was playing Phoenix Rebels in Southport.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I've saw her a couple of times at Rennie Show, believe it or not.
Sure. She was at Burrows recently as well, with Chris Raddins and all that. And she's such a down-to-earth person. But it's like the trailblazers. People now are aspiring to that and knowing full well that if they've got the right guidance. And I've always asked singer-songwriters who've been around a long time, or just songwriters, what 3 things are key for an artist, and I think you've got it in abundance. You've got support.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right, you're buggered.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can't do it on your own. You really can't.
And you've got the support. You're again, it's not Sunday language, but you're a bloody good musician as well. One of the leading guitar players in the country as well. Your head's getting big. Hang on. No, but again,
I always said to myself, I get by, and I always wish I could be better than I am. That's
the mark of a person as well as a musician, in my eyes. Because if you think I know it all, and yourself, you on our cover circuit, know the artists themselves. You do a festival with or a hotel, they think they're the bee's knees, and they can't improve. They won't want to improve. They're happy in their lot, but they think they're the bee's knees. Now, if a person says and comes off stage and go, I think I could have done that better, you're on a winner.
Right. Yeah.
I think you're that person as well. But obviously third and foremost as well is having that tenacity, because there are knockbacks in this game.
Yeah.
And you'll get people who go, oh, and I always looked at the 80-20% rule, me, because if you can please 80% of people, you've done well.
Yeah, it's the old Pareto principle.
Exactly. We've both been in sales all these years, haven't we? My boss did that for me. He said, what's the 80-20% rule? I said, not a clue. And then when he explained it to me, I went, right. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
It's finding 80% of your effort, 20% of the of your focus. Sorry, the other way around, isn't it? 20% of your effort will give you 80% of results. I know what it is. It's true. It's very, very true.
But the band as well, Badlands, they've made they've carved out a big name as well within the festival.
Doing all right. Yeah, that's doing great. Again, it seems at the moment with Badlands, we're really good at travelling north.
They love us in Scotland.
For some reason, it's we've got to get a sat nav that points south every now and again. I think that's the focus and the way to go in the next sort of 12 or 18 months. And see where that goes. That's just a lot of fun. That stays as covers, and and it is just exactly that. It's let's Heather and myself have a laugh and fun and
fun time party band moment.
And it is. It's just we're just out there to give people a good time. That's what it's all about.
And rightly so, because people sometimes have this thing about covers, and I've had arguments with people where they've said, they just do covers," and
yeah. But I mean, I can't think
the
of
people dancing and laughing.
I can't think of any covers that we do that'll be the same as the original, you know, because it's always our spin on it. It's always going to be it's always going to have a little bit more edge and a bit more attitude and a bit more spark about it, because that's just the nature of the band that it is. And again, in fact, I've said this to somebody this afternoon. We go on stage to have fun and take the audience with us. That's what that's what it's all about.
That's it. That's key. So what's around the corner for you then? Obviously, these singles are going to be released. And where would people find this? Is it Spotify, Apple, or
it's on there? I've got a website up and running, which is russelkitchenmusic.com. In my infinite wisdom of using my full name, I keep forgetting to mention that it's Russell with one L and kitchen with an IN rather than the generic spelling.
Yeah, people have gone on Google and gone to B&Q getting a full kitchen, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So that's on there. These, as I say, I'm just literally feeling my way through the whole Spotify and streaming Apple Music services and that kind of thing. I've got a couple of younger heads guiding me and advising me at the moment.
When he will be guided.
Yeah, and to be fair, as you know, I have got a job. I have got a business that I work in, so I've hitched my wagon to the marketing company in there as well to get a bit more colour and a bit more pizzazz to the website and everything else that we present. And they've just sent off the wrapper and the artwork and everything for the actual physical hard copy CD itself. That's just gone in today.
Brilliant.
Way through.
Don't forget your YouTube.
Have I got a YouTube?
You have a YouTube with a video on it.
Yes, I have. There you go. You see, it's how people meet people. The first single I released as a trier is the one that we wrote for Paul. The specific, that was one of the first things I really sort of wrote and expanded on. And again, just through knowing people who know people, the daughter of a friend and a business partner of mine. She runs a little film studio in London. And so they were able to put me a really cool little video together for home, and it actually got shot. The cinematographer was a guy that worked on Game of Thrones, so I'm assuming he knows his stuff.
Oh my God! I'll find this now. I'm going to source it. I mean, I'm going to play home in a second, but I want to say a big thank you, Russ, for coming on the show. Well done for everything you've done, mate. I'm really made up that you've man. I'm proud of you, fella.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thank you for having us. It's really appreciated, mate.
No problem. But you take care and have a great evening.